Did you know there is a gospel excluded from the Bible that denies the existence of sin? And that Mary Magdalene was meant to be the true leader after Jesus? This ancient text, nearly lost to history, contains the key to escaping the world we live in. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene was forbidden by the early church because of its profound messages. There is much more to our existence than we realize. This is more than just religion. It's about gaining a fresh perspective on our surroundings. And once you know the truth, there's no turning back. You'll start questioning everything. And that's when the real adventure starts. The book discusses the 3 waves of volunteers and the new earth. Dolores Cannon, a regressionist hypnotherapist, explains that certain souls, known as volunteers, have come to help humanity raise consciousness and move towards a more spiritual world. This connects the concept of past lives, reincarnation, and the higher purpose of volunteer souls. The concept of abandoning the material world emphasizes the importance of hidden spiritual knowledge for transcendence. In the late 1800s, a German professor made an astounding discovery during an excavation in Egypt. In the dusty ruins of Oxyrhynchus, he discovered parts of the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. These weren't ordinary texts. These mysteries have the potential to transform our perspectives on life, religion, and the world. Scholars gradually pieced together the missing gospel, much like a puzzle. They not only hid, but also prohibited the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. The contentious teachings challenged the early church's authority. They wanted to maintain control over people's beliefs. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene argues that salvation is based on knowledge rather than blind trust. Secret, uplifting knowledge can help you transcend the material world and find spiritual truths. If individuals believed they could find their own road to salvation by learning the world's hidden truths, the church's power would be diminished. This resulted in the gospel being banned and almost completely destroyed. It was not properly investigated until the 20th century, after being rediscovered in the late 1800s. This lost gospel conveys a powerful message. The corporeal world is not ill. In this narrative, Jesus emphasizes that everything we see and experience is connected and originated from the same source. And one day, everything will return to that source. In a complex and chaotic environment, this teaching may be extremely inspiring. It teaches us that everything beneath the surface is part of a larger picture. Understanding this can help us overcome the illusions that cause fear, ignorance, and pain. The notion that the material world is an illusion is not solely a spiritual one. It's something modern science, notably quantum mechanics, is starting to investigate. Scientists have discovered that reality does not always follow our expectations. Everything looks to be made of energy, vibrations, and waves rather than solid stuff. Even Max Planck, the inventor of quantum theory, once stated that there is no matter. As a result, all matter is created and exists only via the action of a force. Ancient wisdom and modern science both agree that the material world is a transient illusion, and ultimate reality is beyond our perception. It means that you can escape the anxiety and turmoil of everyday life. It implies that there is a way out, a path to something bigger, more real. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene serves as a guide for overcoming illusions and discovering the true nature of existence. The early church followed a tight hierarchy. Historically, women were not allowed to hold positions of power, including spiritual leadership. According to the Gospel, Mary Magdalene, not Peter or any of the male disciples, fully grasped Jesus' teachings. Indeed, it was Mary's obligation to lead the disciples after Jesus' departure. The narrative portrays Mary as a spiritual advisor, who Jesus trusted with his darkest secrets. That alone would have shook the early church to its foundations. But it goes even beyond. This gospel implies that salvation isn't on obeying religious laws or authority figures. It's about finding your own spiritual path and understanding the truth about yourself. The church wielded control by presenting itself as the sole path to salvation. This gospel contradicts that idea by stating that you do not need a middleman. You have the ability to understand the truth. The gospel's claim that sin does not exist is noteworthy. Let that sink in. Jesus tells the disciples that the concept of sin is used to dominate people through guilt and fear. In the past, the church relied on sin to retain authority, making this thought revolutionary. This directly undermines religion's manipulation of its believers. For decades, the church fostered fear in individuals by declaring they were born sinful and needed to strictly obey religious leaders for salvation. The gospel rejects this notion, promoting personal responsibility and spiritual knowledge. The message is that humans are not fundamentally flawed or sinful, but rather that our misunderstanding of our true nature causes us to suffer. The gospel also explains how women were treated in the early church. One of the most dramatic moments in the scripture is when Mary reveals the secret knowledge Jesus gave her with the other disciples. Peter rejects Mary as their leader, finding it difficult to believe that Jesus would offer such profound wisdom with a woman. Peter's reaction illustrates patriarchal ideas of the time, which viewed women as inferior and incapable of holding spiritual authority. Mary stands steadfast in her understanding, and Levi, one of the other disciples, defends her, arguing that if Jesus picked her, no one has the right to reject her. This passage directly criticizes the church's male-dominated structure. Gender does not limit spiritual insight, and true leadership is based on understanding rather than hierarchy. If you appreciate unearthing hidden truths and exploring the universe, show your support. Please click the Super Thanks button below to support my material that covers things that others may not want you to know about. This gospel aligns with modern critiques of religious orthodoxy, highlighting how institutions can alter belief systems to preserve power. Traditional religious teachings have been criticized for creating fear and control, rather than spiritual enlightenment. This gospel message appeals to individuals seeking a personal connection to the divine, without relying on a rigid patriarchal system to guide their lives. This gospel encourages a fresh perspective on spirituality, challenging authority and recognizing our ability to discover our own truth. The message encourages breaking free from limiting frameworks and accepting that spiritual truth is accessible to all, regardless of identity. This forgotten text's principles align with modern quantum physics theories, which may surprise some. Ancient wisdom provided insights that science is now confirming. Quantum mechanics allows particles to exist in several locations, communicate instantly over long distances, and change their behavior in response to observation. It's as if reality is malleable, influenced by consciousness and perception. Modern physicists, such as David Bohm, have proposed that the universe is a massive network of energy, what he referred to as the implicate arda. He believes that the universe is linked by a basic connection. Our view of objects and events is a mirror of a larger unified reality. This reinforces Mary's message that everything is interconnected, starting from the same source and eventually returning to it. The relationship between science and spirituality is not a coincidence. It demonstrates that there's more to reality than meets the eye. Both fields reveal truths beyond our limited senses. The Gospel of Mary emphasizes that knowledge and insight can help us transcend the material world and connect with a deeper reality. A remarkable connection between traditional knowledge and current science is the concept of consciousness. The Gospel claims that consciousness, or knowledge and insight, is the key to unlocking the secrets of reality. This is not too dissimilar to what some quantum physicists are investigating now. Erwin Schrödinger, a pioneer of quantum theory, proposed that mind, not matter, is the driving force of the cosmos. He even said that all we perceive as reality is a result of awareness itself. This shows that Mary Magdalene's ancient teachings were more than merely spiritual metaphors. They may provide insight into the true nature of existence, which science is still learning about. Combining science and spirituality offers a fresh perspective and suggests that ancient wisdom may hold the key to unlocking modern puzzles. Scientific and spiritual facts indicate that the material world is not the complete picture, so there is more to learn about yourself and the cosmos. The distinction between science and religion, as well as the physical and spiritual realms, is becoming increasingly blurred, and this offers up a world of possibilities. From the Gospel of Mary Magdalene to modern science, it's clear that our understanding of the world is limited. There is a deeper reality that connects everything and is accessible to those who seek knowledge. If you enjoyed discovering secret truths and exploring the universe, you may show your support. Please click the thank you button below to support my content on topics that others may not want you to be aware of. Your assistance not only keeps these concepts alive, but also spreads the knowledge to others who are ready to see the wider picture. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene's message is truly revolutionary, especially by modern standards. It challenges power systems, expands our understanding, and changes our perception of ourselves in the bigger picture. This gospel teaches that the material world is an illusion, and that true redemption comes from personal understanding and inner wisdom, not mindless obedience or faith. It provides a road to authentic spiritual emancipation. The message encourages us to overcome phobias, cultural structures, and mental barriers that limit our lives and trap us in cycles of illusion. Recent scientific discoveries align with old knowledge, making this even more appealing. Quantum mechanics reveals that the cosmos is not as stable and predictable as previously believed. The book explores the interconnectedness of reality and the role of mind in shaping it. Science and spirituality, once considered diametrically opposed, are now aligned, demonstrating their interdependence. They both point us to a higher truth. The universe is far more complicated, flexible, and mind-driven than we ever thought. However, simply hearing these ideas is insufficient to fully comprehend their meaning. We must get beyond passive listening. To gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, it's important to examine our assumptions and expand our consciousness. It takes courage to seek the truth, even if it challenges our beliefs. This search for knowledge is more than just intellectual comprehension. It is a call for self-discovery and personal improvement. Mary Magdalene's teachings encourage personal empowerment. They inspire us to go on our own individual journeys to spiritual freedom. As science advances, it becomes clear that reality is more complex and interwoven than previously thought. Breaking free from the material world is now possible. The truth is that the ability to change your reality is within you. The material world may appear unchanging, yet we have the ability to transcend it, comprehend the interconnectedness of everything, and realize our full potential. A new perspective of existence is emerging as ancient knowledge and modern discoveries come together. This is merely the beginning of our trip. The route to better understanding is limitless, and the journey to discover your actual self has just begun. Thank you for watching. Join our community by subscribing to this channel until the next video.